This got lost in the Kevin injury and the Clay injury at the end of the year. Guys, this team is emotionally exhausted. 5 years going to the finals, 5 years of extra games, 5 years of all the drama that comes with winning and
Dave
getting
would like
to that
be
point.
that exhausted. I'm just saying. I can see your
I'll sign
face
up for
as he says that. Continue.
I know you aren't the only one. But this team needs a break.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that they're going to punt the year or they're going to tank, because that will not happen with a team of players and coaches and staff members that are this proud, especially going into the Chase Center, Rach, where they are going to make so much damn money over the next few years.
What do I like to call the new Chase Center?
The ATM.
That's
the ATM. But this team is going to take a gap year. We're going to hear a lot more about load management than we have in the past. We're going to hear a lot more about maintaining Steph's minutes throughout. Andre Iguodala's in the last year of his deal. They have to decide moving forward, the biggest key, what do you do with Draymond?
Right.
And you start having those conversations now. Joe Lacob, the owner, loves Draymond. He is the heart and soul of that team. Do you want to pay Draymond mega money if he goes out next year and he's the defensive player of the year, or he makes an all-NBA team? Do you want to commit to him that long, knowing that it's been so up and down? I think they will, so long as Draymond maintains the level he's been at the last couple postseasons, and he knows now going into next year that he has to take on a larger role with Kevin out and Clay, who knows when he'll be back in the regular season.
And I think you're alluding to the right thing. It's not only about like re-identifying this team, because when KD came, it was sort of like adding a supercharge to this already supercharged engine, right? But now it's like we can take a new step forward in a new space. Obviously, Steph shows that he's capable of holding it down, even if he's one or two all-stars on the floor. Draymond is a key piece as well. When you think about Draymond and even Steph, they're the identity. Rediscovering that magic, I think, is going to be extremely important for them these next few years. And when it comes to Draymond, we both were sort of in the league around the same time, entering the league. And his evolution, I know a lot of people see his stats and they say, why would you pay a guy like that much? But what he does is so essential to that team. You can see when he's off the court, the team is dramatically different, right? So rediscovering their identity, especially when they're in a new arena, will be important, and it'll still be exciting for the fans.
I mean, Coach, again, as someone, I'm so fascinated to get your take on this, because you saw them over and over and over again in both cities. And can you explain to people who aren't on the court in the moment just how much Draymond influences everything that's happening?
Well, we had him down 2-1
in
the playoffs of their first championship, and his ability to try to play Zach Randolph without a double team was huge. And then he just kept growing and growing. And here's a guy who can guard centers, guard power forwards like Zach and Mark, and then stretch you out at the other end of the floor. He can get a rebound and break it out, and all of a sudden, I mean, it's just a jailbreak. There's one dude hitting a three and another dude hitting a three, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Floodgates are open.
Yeah, and so there's not he's very valuable. There's just extremely valuable, and hopefully, I think for him and them, that they get a deal done sooner than later, long term. I think it's what's right.
Yeah, how much of a threat do you think the Warriors can be in the season? Nick's talking about a gap year, and I joked with you about, hey, I'd like the idea of 5 years, 5 championships. I saw, talking to Steve Kerr the night that they were eliminated from the finals, he said, we need a year off. He said, we need a year sabbatical. And he was even talking about, they don't know, obviously, the sports science isn't there to make sure exactly, but did Clay get injured? Did KD get injured because of just overuse of playing all these games year after year? I mean, what do you think for them is sort of, if you're Steve Kerr, you're not getting the gap year, what do you say to that team?
You go out and you compete because they're a very proud group, and they've been through a lot of battles together. So they're not going to shut it down. They're going to go out and compete, maybe get a couple younger players and develop them for almost 2 years from now, where they have a smaller contract and they bring those guys along. But they're not going to punt. But the West is very deep, and these teams that have 2 and 3 really good high-end players, they're going to be problems for these guys.
Excellent. All right. Well, more to come on this, more to come on what's going on in the East. After the break, we're going to talk about the other side of the KD trade, the Nets, what happens for them now. And we'll talk about some larger league stuff as well. Stay tuned.